The difference between Pakistan and China was a Pakistani soldier understood just one language. He needed to be sorted out. जिसे हम हिंदी में कहते हैं कि हंटर के बगैर काबू में नहीं आते हैं. Whereas as far as China was concerned, they were very they were treacherous, they were deceptive, they always worked indirectly. They said something, they did something else. So I learned that they are actually programmed when they come to an area to do a task. So I didn't have to fight them, I had to just disturb that programming. We found ways and means to do that. And much later, when I was commanding the Northern Army, I had to deal with a lot of nonsense there. There were a lot of intrusions. You have heard of what happened in Galwan. So that was happening in my time also. I flew to those areas many times. I stayed there, spoke to the people, and we embarked on a strategy of quid pro quo. You see, the agreements with China forced us not to use our weapons. The line of actual control with China is not delineated on the maps. Indian Army was the only army in the world which was guarding a line which doesn't exist. You can imagine the problems. How do we tell our Jawans where is our line finishing and where is they starting? On our maps we had three lines. One was what the British had left, other was what Chinese were perceiving, and third was what we were perceiving. So to guard those areas, we really had to be very, very alert. And I knew that they will do all this, so I sat with the people there, we planned that if they ever come into our area, the first thing we will do is we'll quietly go into their area and sit there. It was a quid pro quo, because when negotiations start, if you don't have a leverage, you can't get him out, and he is good at talking. And that was a turning point in the northern borders. When they came to the area of Depsang, I had to decentralize command to my subordinate commander. We don't generally decentralize command, we decentralize control. The command remains with you. But I knew that if I am sitting far off, this happens at night, he has to take a decision. So I told him, if in 1 hour you can't get me, you will act and do it. I will take the responsibility. So they had done what they had done. It took about 2 months. When this happened, everybody was annoyed with me. They said, why are you doing this? They called me a warmonger. They said, you people do this, that's why China does this. I said, it is the other way around. So the emir takes over. And these talks go on endlessly. So I made a plea to my chief and then later on to the NSA that you give me 48 hours to settle this. Because on ground we were negotiating in a way that we had threatened their team leader that we will sort you out, because we tickled him and recorded a lot of things which he was saying. And we were also sitting in that area. The end result was I had to fly to Delhi, speak to the NSA. Shiv Shankar Menonji was the NSA, and he was not happy initially. He said, what are you going to do? We are talking at the highest level. I said, we have understood their mechanics. Give me 48 hours. It's not worrying anybody. He gave me a lot of do's and don'ts. And in those 48 hours, we resolved the issue. At the end of 24 hours, the Chinese wrapped up, put their tents in their vehicles, and they went back to status quo ante.